said, welcome to the Commissioner's Corners podcast. I'm here with Bomber. This week we've got a lot of stuff coming up. We're talking about all of the videos that have come out on NBL Network. We've got some great stuff. We've got DK's Take, NBL Tonight, along with what's upcoming. Later in the show, we're going to have Super Bowl predictions as the grid is coming to a close. We're also going to be talking about Madden Bomber League power rankings, and make sure you stick around for the end of the show. We're going to be talking about League Crawler and its benefit to your connected franchise mode league. So, Bomber, what do you got for us from Madden Bomber League Media?
All right, guys, since this is a bi-weekly show, over the last 2 weeks, the NBL Network had some great things come out. I just kind of wanted to touch on it. We had the first episode of the Lockdown podcast hosted by Jay Wack. It's a full immersion podcast about the grid, which is the NBL Development League, and they really touched on what's going on in the grid, the happenings around, and also some great information on how to get called up from the grid to the NBL, because the grid is where we take our talent from. That's where we draw our talent from to bring up to the Madden Bomber League. We also had NBL Tonight come up, this virtual studio show hosted by Sonny Weaver. It talked about the AFC playoff picture and the NFC playoff picture and how he saw it going down the stretch. DK's Take also came out with a couple snub series on the ratings release from Madden. And Madden put out a top 5 rookies, top 5 quarterbacks, and top 5 halfbacks of Madden 17. I believe DK mentioned Miles Jack as being one of the snubs that didn't make it for the rookie class. Then he also did a follow-up video with the wide receiver top 5, and he mentioned Allen Robinson from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And all these media content will be linked in the description below. We also went on to talk to Jake Stein about who's a developer for Madden 17 on the Forverge podcast. We talked about MUT Draft Champions, and he also talked about the great addition of no more peer-to-peer connection on Madden 17. So if your opponent has bad connection and you have good connection, you're not going to be getting that hideous lag that we all hate. Upcoming this week, we're going to have a team report number 10. Fat's going to get that out to us. The Extra Point podcast is now solely hosted by Project Fat. Episode number 28 is also going to be coming out this week. The Lockdown podcast has already been recorded. It should be coming out within the next couple days. Hosted by Jay Wack. It's going to talk about the last cycle of grid in Madden 16 and where he thinks the Super Bowl is going to go. And our Madden developer series continues with Sonny Weaver in the Forverge podcast. He's going to have the Madden CFM director, John White, come on the show, and he's going to talk CFM with us. So we got a lot of interesting stuff coming up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and like to this video if you like what we're bringing to you. And we got more to come. Are you looking for affordable graphic design? Well, the Madden Bomber League has you covered. Our sponsor at web3ks.com can do anything you want. They always go, Bomber, where'd you get those intros? Web3ks.com. Bomber, where'd you get them graphics? Web3ks.com. So you guys need to check it out. If you run a CFM, if you got a Twitter account, if you got a YouTube account, and you're looking for some nice, clean, affordable graphics, go to web3ks.com and he will fulfill all your graphics needs.
Welcome back. Right now we're going to be talking about our grid and NBL section of the show. We are at the end of this Madden cycle, so we're going to be talking about the playoffs. Bomber's going to give a Super Bowl prediction for the grid. Just real quick, the grid is an extremely important part of NBL. You'll hear about this on the Lockdown podcast, on how it helps develop players, get them to understand how NBL works, and it's just an extremely important part of NBL. And it's really exciting to see these guys, late July, beginning of August, still going for a Super Bowl. So, Bomber, what is your Super Bowl prediction going to be?
All right, well, as Lip mentioned, this is the last cycle for grid in Madden 16. So, a great, successful year, pretty much a round of applause for the grid, first year being connected with the Madden Bomber League in this way. It's done a great job and definitely served its purpose as the development league and filter for the NBL. Right now we're going down to the stretch. We're in the last week, and I'm pretty much looking at the NFC. That's how I really think it could come down to a couple teams. I like the New York Giants. I like Sip. I like what he's been able to do with that offensive attack. They're very explosive behind Odell Beckham. I love the talent that the Minnesota Vikings have. Shotmaster has a lot of talent there. I know he's new to the league, but he got to be able to pick up on a really nice team. They're 11-4 right now. I expect them to be fighting with Draco and the Chicago Bears for the third seed in the playoffs. I like training with the Seattle Seahawks, but my favorite team and my team that I think is going to come out of the NFC is 2-4 in the New Orleans Saints. They have the number one offense in the grid, and he's been doing just a great job with that team developing and building. But my dark horse for the NFC is the New York Giants, and they're my dark horse for the grid. They could possibly come out of the NFC and really surprise a couple people and get to the Super Bowl and get a win. But I'm going to go for all intents and purposes, I'm going to go ahead and say 2-4 comes out of the NFC. And the AFC has been pretty much a lock with the Pittsburgh Steelers at 16-0, so I'm going to have Backley coming out of there. They're the number 2 ranked offense, going up against 2-4. And I say the final score, and quote me on this, is going to be 38. The Saints are going to have 38. The Steelers are going to fall short at 28, and their perfect season is going to come to the end in the Super Bowl and grid. And 2-4 is going to get a championship with the New Orleans Saints.
All right, welcome back. Here we are going to be talking about the Madden Bomber League section of the podcast. We are going to be talking about the power rankings, which were just released by Doughboy. You can check these out on Nate Silver's Twitter for the MBL. This is a really nice looking graphic we've got here. It's set up very nice. We're going to run through the top 10 teams here for this week. Starting off at number 10, we have the Titans. The Titans have always had a top 10 defense, but their offense has kind of been towards the bottom. This year, it is in the middle, which has led them to success. They're currently 6-2, and they have a favorable schedule left moving forward. They have to battle with the Texans, who are at number 9, but the Titans definitely have a shot at getting into the playoffs and going on a run. So next we have the Texans. They're currently at 7-2. This is a team that is in the middle as far as offense and defense, but if you follow along with the NBL, you've known that the Texans have really slowly built this team over time. And just because they're statistically not the best or even the worst in some areas, it doesn't mean that they can't do things. They are a very loaded team, and they are going to have success. The thing is, they have to get past the Steelers, the Rams, and the Patriots, and the Patriots is a game that's big because the Patriots are also a top seed in the AFC as it sits right now. So the Texans have some tough games coming up that we're going to have to get through for them to go on a playoff run. At number 8, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is kind of a team right now. They're 7-2. They've kind of flip-flopped from where they were in the past. They have a top 10 defense and a very awful offense. They run the ball well, but as far as passing, they're at the bottom 3, bottom 5 of the league, which where they had never been before. But the defense is kind of keeping them in the hunt here. Their games coming up, they're going to have to get past the Chiefs in a Week 17 game against the Lions. That's going to be a tough one, and that's definitely going to impact the playoff seeding. We go on down to number 7. It is the Redskins. They're currently 6-2. They have a tough game against the Chiefs this week. They also have the Giants, Broncos, and Falcons remaining. The Giants are under new ownership, and they're going to be a tough team. The Broncos and the Falcons, as you know, they're always tough. The thing about the Redskins is they have an insane offense. They have a lot of guys that they've built, they've developed, they got them in the right system, and it's just a very high-powered and an offense that's working extremely well. I definitely think that if you're not prepared for these Redskins, you're going to get burnt. So at number 6, we have those Patriots I talked about. This is another very strong defense. Their offense is kind of in the middle, but it's in the upper area of it, just outside the top 10. Sitting at 7-2, they're definitely in a position that they can win their division. They can lock that up in a couple weeks. Their tough games are against the Panthers and the Texans that I had talked about with the playoff seeding coming up.
And at number 5, Nate Silver has the Denver Broncos, who were 5-3 when the power rankings were created. Right now, they're currently 5-4. They have key losses to San Diego, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, and a recent loss to a slide to the Baltimore Ravens, who are really struggling this year. At number 4, we got the Cincinnati Bengals, who are 6-2. When the rankings came out. Currently, right now, they're 6-3, and they have key losses to really tough teams, Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City. The San Diego Chargers were at number 3. They were 5-2. They're currently 7-2. Their key losses are to Denver and Buffalo. And number 2, Nate Silver had the Falcons, who are 7-0. They're currently now 9-0. They have the number 1 defense in the NBL. They're only giving up 11.3 points per game. They have the number 4 offense in the NBL, and they have key wins against the Patriots and the New York Giants. And at number 1, Nate Silver gave it to the Detroit Lions, who were 8-0 at the time and are currently 9-0 along with the Falcons. And they have a top 3 offensive defense, and they have key wins against Cincinnati, Seattle, and the St. Louis Rams. Now, if I was to look at this top 10 and say which team shouldn't be there right now based on the progressions, I would say the Denver Broncos should definitely drop down a little bit with that loss to Baltimore. That really hurts their top 10 power ranking. And I think the Kansas City Chiefs need a little bit of love right now. They've definitely been playing well, and they have some key victories over some of these tough teams, especially Cincinnati and Denver, and that would definitely put them in my top 10 if I was doing one. And I think they're a team definitely to watch down the stretch.
Yeah, I definitely think that the Chiefs, they have a couple losses that people scratch their heads at, but they do have those big wins. I definitely think they need to move up in the power rankings moving forward.
Okay, guys, and don't forget the NBL Players Hall of Fame, the announcements, the players that are going to be added to this Players Hall of Fame list is going to be announced on the next Commissioner Corners podcast in 2 weeks. That's right, 2 weeks. Find out if your player made the NBL Players Hall of Fame. And these are Madden-created players only. The rookies that won't be going on to the next Madden. The ones that we choose not to forget about in the NBL. And they definitely make a long-lasting impression on our league. And we want to commend them for that. And that's why we created the NBL Players Hall of Fame. So in 2 weeks, we're going to have that list. The nominations, who made it, who got snubbed, who didn't. We're going to do a whole show about it. So make sure you stay tuned to that. And it's going to be on this segment right in the middle of our podcast. Looking for Madden Bomber League history, content, and news? Go to 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Don't forget to give us a follow on Twitter at Bomber League and hit that like button and that subscribe on our NBL Network YouTube channel and support one of the fastest growing leagues in the Madden community. All right, guys, this is the last segment of the show. This is actually the Commissioner's Corner, and this week we're going to be focusing on League Crawler. We have a really good relationship with this guy. He's a great guy. He just wanted to provide a nice free service for the CFM community. You can find this website at leaguecrawler.com. Now, I'm at the home page right now on League Crawler, and I see all these tabs up top, and I'm just going to explain to y'all exactly what it does and just how simple and user-friendly this website actually is. Now, if I'm a owner of a league and I'm looking for players, I can just go to the tab right at the top that says Gamer Tags. Now, it's a real simple concept right here. I just scroll down and I can look. I can say, okay, Xbox gamer tag. Now I'm looking at the game. I can type in the genre and let's do Madden NFL football. So then I'm going to click Madden NFL football on the drop down tab, and I'm going to look down for players that I think would fit my league based on their ratings. I can see guys ratings from a 1, from a 5 to a 10. Now I'm looking for guys with high ratings with a lot of comments. Now, if this system was utilized properly and utilized effectively with the CFM community, we could create a real strong database that could help weed out some of the people that maybe we wouldn't think would be helpful or beneficial to our community. So this is a great tab to look at if you're a league owner. I go to this often, just checking out people, seeing if there's any really good reviews on some quality potential owners for the Madden Bomber League and the Grid. Now, also, if you're a player that's looking to join the league, you can go one of the leagues tabs. Is right here. I'm going to go up to Xbox One Leagues. I'm going to click that tab, and it's going to take me to the leagues on Xbox One. Now, this is where League Crawler does have a really stronger database because a lot of leagues have seen the potential of this and added their league to the website. So on the Xbox Ones, I scroll down, I see the Madden Bomber League right there. We recently League Crawler's League of the Year for 2016. And then you see the League of the Month right below it, and then some ratings in some other leagues basically ranked out. And you can read reviews on this. You got comments right there, total views, so you can get an idea of who is the top league, what might be a potential league for you based on the game you're playing. As also, it has a drop-down tab where you can click NFL, EA, FIFA, or whatever your desire, whatever you're looking for. This is just a really good website at leaguecrawler.com. It's well kept, very smooth and user-friendly design, and it definitely provides some information that commissioners can use, that players of Madden looking to join the CFM community can use to basically connect the league, connect the player with the league, and connect the league with the player. That's the essential point of this website, and it does a great job of doing that.
Yeah, League Crawler is definitely an excellent database where you can find information on guys coming into your league. As a player, it can get you hooked up with a great community to make your gaming life a lot funner, get you in with a great community that fits you. Another great feature of League Crawler is that you can add PlayStation accounts Xbox gamer tags, and also add leagues. I'm just going to show you right now how easy it is. We have J Moon's gamer tag in there under Madden NFL football. You go ahead and move forward with that. Whenever it brings up the next page, you can give them a rating. Simple rating system right there. You can give them a comment, leave feedback, whether they're a good player, a bad player, what they do whenever they're in leagues. It's just an extremely simple, easy way to grow the CFM community.